Coco is the newest movie by Pixar and Disney, which stars Anthony Gonzalez as Miguel. Miguel is an aspiring musician who belongs to a family which has a generational hatred of music, dating all the way back to Miguel's great great grandmother, Mama Imelda. The Rivera family's hatred for music and Miguel's aspiration to be a musician, like his idol Ernesto de la Cruz, voiced by Benjamin Bratt, is the main conflict of the movie. The film takes place over the course of 24 hours on the Day of the Dead, when Miguel is transported to the land of the dead and must earn a blessing to return to the land of the living before sunrise, or he will be trapped forever. Along the way, he meets colorful characters like Héctor, voiced by Garcia Bernal. Right away, this movie makes us care for Miguel and his struggle to become a musician like his idol. We see him in his secret attic hideaway where he watches old movies involving Ernesto de la Cruz and playing along on his handmade guitar. They show us his passion for music in the face of his family's embargo on all things related to music. His family wants Miguel to follow in their footsteps by becoming a shoemaker like other members of his family, and he just wants to play his guitar and perform. I really enjoyed this movie. The animation is excellent and beautiful to look at on screen. The music is memorable and something that I can listen to on its own. I had a lot of fun and laughed a lot in the theater. The more intense moments are handled gracefully and do create an overall sense of sadness. If you've seen a Pixar film, you know what I'm talking about. The last 15 minutes or so are really something magical. Coco is a story that tugs at your heartstrings, makes you clear your throat, and wipe away tears from your cheek. I didn't watch any trailers or see any teasers or anything like that for this movie. The only thing I knew about the movie was what was on the poster. So I really didn't know what I was getting myself into. So the fact that it was going to take place in such a short amount of time was a surprise. The time issue creates a sense of urgency and allows us to connect more readily with Miguel's plight. With that being said, at no point in this movie do I think he will be stuck in the land of the dead. I never feel a sense of woe for Miguel in that I never worry about him returning home. However, I do not think that's the main concern of the creators either. As I said earlier, the main conflict is with Miguel becoming a musician in a family that hates music. It is Miguel's struggle to be understood in a family that doesn't understand him. I think the creators did a great job of telling that story and bringing it to life on screen. Overall, I give Coco 4 magical guitars out of 5. Like I said, I really like this movie. Now that I've gotten the, I guess the essential review out of the way, or the main part of the review out of the way, I'll go ahead and spoil some stuff. So if you don't want to listen to that, just turn it away. So Miguel needs the guitar, or he needs a guitar to play at this gathering they're having during the Day of the Dead celebration, and because his grandmother broke his guitar, so he needs to get a new one. So he fights with them, runs away, and he realizes that he can go to Ernesto de la Cruz's grave and steal his guitar and use it for the contest or whatever they're having. So he grabs the guitar from the a wall in the little burial chamber they have, and he strums it, and that that transports him to the land of the dead. This is where everything happens in the movie starts to happen, and he meets his other family members that have died and passed away, and he goes from there, and they offer him a blessing, but only if his great great grandmother Mama Imelda offers him a blessing to use the guitar, or to go back actually, but he can't play music or have anything to do with music, and he doesn't want that obviously because he's so music oriented. And like I said, I believe that's the main conflict in the movie between Miguel wanting music to have music in his life and his family not wanting to have anything to do with music. And like I said, the creators did a great job of explaining that's the main thing, not necessarily that we're worried about that. Might mainly be there for the kids. We're worried about Miguel. Oh, is he going to get back? Is he not going to get back? I never worried about that, and I don't think many other adults in the audience really did worry about that either. Like I said, that's the main conflict: the music versus the non-music. And from there, he meets Hector, and they go and do all this other stuff. They play at another kind of little gathering, except for the um, Day of the Dead people. And then he finally meets Ernesto, and then we see the twist where Hector is actually his dad and not Ernesto. And I should have mentioned this earlier, but I didn't want to spoil it in the main episode. But Miguel thought that Ernesto was his dad. Turns out it's actually Hector, and Hector misses Coco, which is actually his grandmother, or not Hector's grandmother, but Miguel's grandmother is Coco, which is actually Hector's daughter, and that's how they're related. And Coco's forgetting him. And in this movie, when someone forgets you, you die in the land of the dead. When the last person living forgets you, you die in the land of the dead, basically. And Coco's forgetting Hector, her dad. And so Miguel has to get the blessing to go back and help Coco remember her father. She's like 90 some years old in the movie. She's super old. She's sweet, but really, really old. And so Miguel goes back. It's all well and good. And then, everyone finds out that Ernesto, he's the one that Ernesto killed Hector to steal his songs. So we find that out. And so Hector's actually the world renowned musician. Miguel goes back into the land of the living, and he plays his guitar for Coco. And he sings the song "Remember Me." It is so sad. People were crying in the theater. It's terrible, but it's that good terrible. Miguel, he plays the guitar, and Coco remembers her dad, and she starts talking about him. And then everyone's crying in the movie and in the theater. And then we fast forward, I think, a year, and we found out that Coco, she passed away. And it's not like a sad thing because we knew it was going to happen. She's old. So it's not too bad. Miguel has a brother, or it's either a brother or sister. I can't remember off the top of my head, but he has a brother or sister, and he's playing music, and everyone's loving it. And then we see Hector, Mama Imelda, and Coco come to the land of the living, or not come to the land of the living. Cross over the little leaf bridge they have in the movie, which is, like I said, the animation in this movie is insane. There's a part where Miguel's playing his guitar in the attic, and it just looks crazy good. It's just amazing. And then when you see the cityscapes and everything involving that, and then sometimes they'll do like a close up of the skull faces in the land of the dead, and you can see all the little detail. It's really amazing the amount of work they put into this movie. It's just detailed like crazy, and it's just beautiful. But anyway, they cross the leaf bridge, and you can see them in the land of the dead, and they're all having a good time, and the family's kind of reunited again. And it's just a really good movie, and it has its sad moments, but it has happy ones too, like that, and none of it feels in vain or uh, just like fluff. You know, it feels like the story has something to say, and it's a really nice story. I enjoyed it, and I had a lot of fun with it. So, um, let me know what you guys thought about it. I mean, I enjoyed it. It's a lot better. I haven't seen Cars 3, so I can't talk about that. But I prefer Pixar going into a more, let's not do a sequel to everything type of thing. But I like new ideas coming from Pixar. I think that's when they're at their best. That's when they're working with something new, actually. Um, with that being said, I do want to see The Incredibles too. How could you not? Cars, Incredibles 2, that's where it's gonna be. But anyway, you guys let me know what you thought about the movie, what you think about my review or whatever. And I appreciate you guys watching or listening. And look out for more reviews. I just finished up Future Man, and probably have a review of that next week. I'm hoping. We'll see if I can get to it in time. Hopefully I can. But anyways, guys, thanks. Appreciate it. Talk to you later. All right.